You're listening to Behind the Bulldogs, brought to you by Ferris State Athletics.
Off the left side, to the end zone! Touchdown, Bulldogs!
If I'm even having like a bad day on the course or something, I just look down at it and just feel like thankful that I'm able to be out there.
Making sure that we're like where our feet are and we're not thinking about outside distractions.
Welcome in, everybody. It's another edition of Behind the Bulldogs. Brandel-Wilhelm Tatum Outlaw, as always. And this is a special episode, not only for you, Tatum, as it's a very exciting one you've been looking forward to since we got the show scheduled together. We'll have her head coach, Tia Brandel-Wilhelm of Ferris State Volleyball, as well as Libero Leah Bylut stopping by. Great interview. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. But we also had some pretty big games over the weekend, and especially those in Hammond, Indiana. Maybe, 3 games, but one is especially going to be talked about, and we'll get into that. Football wins big, soccer as well as hockey getting splits on the weekend, as well as we have basketball starting up real soon. We got the stuff going on this weekend. There's a pretty big football game apparently down in Allendale, I think. I heard about that.
You know, I might have heard.
It's like number 1 and number 3 playing at Lubbers or something. So
not a huge deal at all.
I know you guys are ready to talk about that. We'll get that in the slate at the end of the show, as well as all the things coming up. GLIAC Cross Country Championships is this weekend. Volleyball, you guys are at home Thursday and Friday. Super exciting. Now, as we'll start off with it right off the gate. You guys are number 2 in the country right now. That's pretty amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. Things are starting to feel real as we're wrapping up conference play, and then we're going to start GLIAC soon. But yeah, I think a big part of that, I think we talked about this last time, but we had the Midwest Regional crossover last weekend. We played teams from the GMAC, GLVC. We had a tight game with Quincy. They're also ranked. They're probably going to be in the running for like top 2 of our region. So it was a good game. It was nice to have a competitive game again, like at that level. We haven't had one like that, honestly, since the start of our season. And a reverse sweep is crazy. I've never been like a part of a team that's had a reverse sweep like that. So we were down 2 sets, and then we just were like, all right, no more playing around, let's win. And it was just good fun. I think it brought us closer together. We surpassed limits we didn't know we could pass. So, yeah.
It was super exciting. And especially the fact that you mentioned the reverse sweep, that's something that is not easy to do.
Yes.
It's not easy to do. You got all the momentum against you, losing the first 2 sets. And obviously that second set was a pretty fair margin, right? You went down by 8 points, and then you rattled off the 25-14 third set. That felt like it was okay. Game time, let's go. The penultimate was obviously fun to watch, being within 2 points, but just really, really amazing performances this weekend from you guys. And I think it just goes to testament the work that you've put in all season long.
Yeah, I think it took a lot of resiliency, and then we had some strong team leaders. You know, Olivia, she's been Offensive Player of the Week a handful of times, and Kaylee Mott, she just got most aces for the school record.
Yeah, in program. How did we have not known about this?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
She was just, behind the scenes getting her aces in. But
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 are big team leaders for us, and they definitely kind of paved the way for us to be resilient in that moment.
Absolutely. Football getting the win, 51-13. Your number 4 overall Bulldogs. Now number 3, I believe, in this week's poll. 6 touchdown performance from a friend of the podcast, the man and myth, the legend himself, Trinidad Chambliss. Really good performance from him. National, not just GLIAC Player of the Week, National Division II Player of the Week. Congrats to Trin. As well as that defense, I thought played really, really well. Only gave up 13 points to a team that's really played good football this year. Michigan Tech, they took Davenport to a close game up there in Houghton. They've really been a gritty team. That's kind of what they strive to play by. But a really good performance from that defense. The offense was fantastic. And I think it just the big playability of this team, this coaching staff putting together the game plans. It's tough to beat this team. And it just goes to show the consistent success and the reasons why.
Yeah, no, they're looking really good. I'm excited to keep up with their big game this weekend. I think that we could definitely pull through, especially with how we've been doing. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Everyone tune in.
Absolutely. So really good overall performances there. Soccer getting the split at home, running into Northern Michigan, who is one of the best teams, I believe, in all of the Midwest region. Not necessarily saying they're the top ranked team, but they're definitely in that conversation of being a ranked Midwest region team. And that offense is elite. So we had some trouble, but the bounce back on Sunday was very impressive. Playing against a good Michigan Tech team. You saw especially Izzy Barron's goal. fantastic goal, as well as Catherine Welch finding the scoring tally again. Defense, I thought, was very improved. Offense spent more time in the offensive zone, and I think that just goes to show the resiliency for this team. And finally, for Coach Henson, getting a win at home. You'll love to see it.
We broke the curse, and I think what's great about them is that they were able to come back after a loss. That's what's most important. So hopefully they can keep rolling along from there.
Absolutely. When it comes to hockey, Friday night, very good. Saturday, didn't happen. So we got the 1-0 win against St. Lawrence on Friday. Fell a little bit apart in that Saturday game. You can find out ferrisstatebulldogs.com if you really want to read about it. But I think it goes to show that this team really is resilient. Noah West has had a great start to his campaign between the pipes. I mean, he has been lights out. He pitched a shutout against St. Lawrence at their place night number 1. So I think that was a really impressive performance. Caden Galt as well scoring the lone goal on the weekend for the Bulldogs. So I think it just goes to show that Coach Daniels, no matter who they bring in, they really do a good job gelling, and it feels like this year especially, I know you've been around some of the hockey players, I have too, it seems like the culture right now, it really is continuing to go up, which is a great sign for this team.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. They're doing good. They have great culture. I love hearing about like their season, and just go support the hockey team.
Yes, please do.
Support them. They need love.
We need more people in the dog pound.
Yes.
We need more people in the dog pound. People show up to volleyball. People show up to football. We need you to be there for hockey too. Plus, I know you got to pay for it. I know. It stinks, right?
Yeah.
But be there. It's great entertainment. We're finding stuff for all the fans each and every week, and it's fun to watch. So, and I think especially one notable thing as well, we had basketball starting up. We had Dogs After Dark for men's and women's basketball kickoff last Friday. Thanks to everybody that came out for that. It seems like the women kind of won the Dogs After Dark, so men's got to get it together. No, I'm just kidding. They had a good win, the men's, last night in an exhibition matchup as we're recording this, 83-69 over Calvin. It was a close game. It was a really close game for quite a bit of time. And this was almost, I want to say that it was a personal game, but Calvin is a specific opponent that we picked for a reason, right?
Yes.
Head coach Bill Saul used to be a Bulldog himself, and now coaching against Coach Bronkema as a Calvin Knight. And that's really fun to see because they're both very talented programs regardless of division. And that's why you saw this game be so close, but the Bulldogs being resilient, and they get the win in the second half. That's really huge for the program.
Yeah, I love basketball season. I'd argue that it's probably my favorite to keep up with outside of my own. But it was a super competitive game. It was very close. And that's what I love about basketball, and especially our basketball teams here. They're fighters. It's always going to be close, but they pull it together at the end.
Absolutely. And to finish out, women's golf, 10th place overall finish in Florida. Wish we would have been on that trip right now. It's getting kind of chilly walking into the office every day. But really good performance from Coach Stark's team. Obviously, we're really excited to see their development as they continue to improve. We saw Cameron Shannon obviously really continuing her success. Hallie Crozier, I believe, shot her all-time best in a 18-hole round. So congratulations to her. Really impressive performance. But I think the team is starting to improve. And a good way to wrap up the season, a top 10 team finish in what is a very stacked tournament. I don't think many people thought about the teams in the field. They're all very good. So it just goes to show they can compete with the best of the best.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. They're always improving. And I think going down to Florida, making it known who we are, getting our name out there, that's great looks.
Absolutely. So that's kind of the wrap up. So we'll get to the interview here. Very excited for this. And especially, I think the number one thing people are looking forward to is obviously getting to hear the coach and player perspective at the same time, right? That's something that's kind of either a lot of people, and this goes with our show included, we really go with one or the other. But now we've got the opportunity to kind of go, split it and see what it's like in comparison, and it's great. And we were been looking forward to having Coach Brandel-Wilhelm on the show for the last couple of years now, as well as being able to get a player with her. So it's really exciting, and I can't wait for this interview. I know we kind of got a sneak peek of what's coming, and I think we have an idea what's going to be said, but it's going to be a really fun interview to say the least. Yeah,
and Leah's a senior now, so her and Tia are very close. So I think it'll be a lot of fun having them both on together.
Absolutely. We won't tease it any longer. We'll send you over into the interview room with head coach Tia Brandel-Wilhelm and Libero Leah Bylut. Now joining us here in the interview room, we got a couple of volleyball. Not only we have a player in the house, Tatum, one of your teammates, Leah Bylut, as well as head coach Tia Brandel-Wilhelm joining us. Welcome to the show, ladies. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's great to have you by. And we'll start with the easy question. Obviously, really good play this past weekend, especially in the Midwest region crossover. big wins as well for the program, rising up in the polls. Just talk about especially the way that you guys feel the team is playing right now and really just continuing to move up the charts and get better each and every day.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, you go first.
I mean, obviously we're playing well. We've put a lot of time over the last few years to build this group of players, and we're doing some really nice things. It's nice that those things are getting recognized. I think the sign of greatness sometimes though is just understanding what your strengths are and how you're doing, but also working to get a little bit better every day. And we've always said that, and I think we still have that mindset of we're just trying to get a little better every day.
I would agree. We're very much a team that's like on to the next. So like we come back after the weekend and review what we're doing well and what we need to work on, and then just hone in on those few things that we think can make us better.
Leah, I remember you telling me during the game that you were like, I just feel so out of body right now. This is so fun. Can you elaborate on that and like what that game was like for you?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Quincy game?
Yes.
The Quincy game. Yeah.
Yes.
So
tell us about that game.
I love like those really close matches. Like those are the games that like I live for. And like before the game, we came to the middle and we're like, this is why we play volleyball, like for games like this. And we were just making plays that like we didn't even know we could do. And we were talking about it as a team that we just kind of raised the standard for ourselves in that game. So it was a really good match and very fun.
Yeah, I agree. It was fun.
Yeah, it looked like you guys were having fun with that comeback. But kind of speaking of that, obviously the psyche of a volleyball player varies player to player when it comes to what inspired them to get into the sport. And Coach Brandel-Wilhelm, I want to send this one your way. You've been coaching in the sport for a long time, right? Over 30 years.
Who says that?
What was it that inspired you to be a coach from day one?
So you say over 30 years, but it's 29 years here at Ferris, and then 8 years before that. And then, I was that 3-sport athlete in high school, and I was actually better in all my other sports than volleyball, but I loved my experience in volleyball. Like I had a really great high school coach, and just she built a culture, and you were a part of something that was really cool. And so I chose volleyball for college. I wasn't really any good at all. Like I played a bunch, but our team was, just solid, like middle of the pack kind of thing. But I quit running track because I was dual sport for the first couple years. And then I started coaching at the middle school. I thought I was going to coach the middle school, and they gave me the JV job at Alma High School. And then they let go of the varsity coach partway through the season and said, hey, you're now the varsity coach. And I was so bad at it, but I really loved it. I had so many opportunities just to be with the students, and it was just really, really fun to be that coach. So then I was looking for a job, and I was interviewing all these places, and one of my friends said, my intramural football coach said, hey, you can be a GA. And I was like, oh, what's that? Never heard of it. And so I applied to a couple GA positions, and I got one down in West Virginia at a college down there. And it was a program that was just a couple years old. So it was really cool to go in there, and I knew nothing at all. I was such a bad coach, but I would go out recruiting. I worked really hard. I had no life, just did volleyball. I'd go out recruiting, and I'd sit next to, the coolest coach in the gym. So I got to know some pretty high power coaches like Russ Rose at Penn State. And he became a good friend just because I would talk to him all the time about how to get better and how to do this coaching. And then I just kept doing it. And I didn't plan it ever. It was just something I was going to do for a little while. And then I keep doing it.
Wow. What a story. What a story.
Yeah, a little while later, and we're still going.
Yeah. Well, how did you find Ferris State? Obviously, you said you went to West Virginia for 8 years, and then you ended up going to transition to Ferris State. What led to that change?
So I am from Michigan, and a good friend of mine was the coach here when I was in college. So I kind of knew a little bit about, I got to know the coach here and some things like that. And then I actually, we were in the Final Four, my team in West Virginia, or the Elite Eight, and the Ferris coach was down there on the national committee, and she left a couple months later and said, hey, you should apply for the job. And I was like, sure, I'll apply, but I'm not going to leave. I'm not going anywhere. And then I came to Ferris, and I'm driving around campus. I'm talking with people around campus, and I was so impressed with, it's like a small school, but you have all the resources of a big school. Like it's such a great place, and the people are amazing. And I just, they offered me the job, and I took it.
Wow, what a story. I'm going to pitch this now to you, Leo. What got you interested in volleyball as a player, and then eventually decide to make the change to the next level?
Yeah, so I actually got into volleyball kind of weird. I tried like every sport when I was a kid. So I did like soccer, karate, tennis, like literally
Karate?
Yeah.
Whoa.
For like 2 days, and then I cried because I hated it.
Oh, okay.
So nothing just really clicked. I was really bad at soccer. I did that for the longest. And then I played volleyball in gym class. And then I came home and I told my mom, I was like, can you sign me up for volleyball? And so I started playing for like a recreational league. And like neither of my parents really played sports either. So I kind of just found it on my own, and I had some skill in it. So I really liked it. And then I started playing club when I was in 5th grade. And then by the time I got to high school, I knew I wanted to play in college because I just loved the game so much. So then I switched clubs to a really competitive club where like everyone pretty much gets recruited. And yeah, then here I am.
And here you are. What made you choose to be a Bulldog?
So I wanted to go to a really competitive program, and I knew that I would find that here at Ferris. I also wanted to originally pursue pharmacy, so I wanted to go to pharmacy school, which I've changed my major since then, but that was the original plan. And then when I came here and visit, it's kind of funny because when I got to practice with the girls, and they all came up to me and my mom and like shook our hands and like introduced themselves to us. And I thought that was like the nicest thing ever. And it was so welcoming. And it's funny because Tia teaches us to like greet people like that, or like recruits when we have them visit. And then obviously I knew Tia was a great coach, and she's been here for a long time. And with college, sometimes like coaches can come and go, but I knew Tia would be here to stay, and I really wanted to play for her. So yeah.
Look at that. That's awesome. When it comes to what you guys do outside of volleyball, hobbies, off-season time, what are some of those go-tos for both of you?
Oh, I love this question. I have a lot
I know
of.
what she's gonna say.
Did you give her the study questions?
No, I think I know where this is going.
Okay.
So I'm a big baker.
Yes.
I have a sourdough starter at home, so I bake a lot of bread, bagels, cookies for my teammates. I also like to sing. If you come in our apartment, I'm singing like all the time. I love musical theater. And I like to cook too.
The clarinet found
yeah.
its way into our apartment.
So I played the clarinet when I was in middle school, and then I decided that it was really cool that I could play the clarinet in middle school, so I wanted to start practicing again. So I also play the clarinet.
Wow,
my free time.
Look at that. That's awesome. Coach, how about you?
I don't play the clarinet. I do sing a lot. My kids always ask me not to, but being a mom and a coach, I think that's kind of like what you do.
Yeah.
Is you be a mom and you do your mom things and you coach, and yeah, that's kind of all we do.
Speaking about free time, I guess I just kind of realized we're on the road so much and we don't have a ton of free time, but I find myself like loving traveling with you guys. What are your guys' favorite parts about traveling with the teams and just like the things you look forward to?
I really like this is gonna sound horrible, but I love when we like the meals we eat together. Like it's so fun. Just like the meals on the bus is just like I always look forward to it. And then just like being around. I mean, my teammates are my best friends, so just like being around them all the time is like my favorite thing.
Yeah, I think the games are my favorite. And the travel, I love volleyball. I love watching them play and rise to the challenges and get stressed, and I love all that. I also just love watching the team be around each other. I mean, it's an incredible group of women, and they're so good to each other, and they have so much fun together. It's really neat to just watch that and to know that, in 20, 30 years, they're going to tell stories about the back of the bus and the fun things that they did.
We definitely will.
Absolutely. Is there a favorite trip when it comes to the set of road trips? You guys have been on quite a few, and a lot of good ones too.
Oh,
this year only, or any year?
We'll start with this year, and then you can extend it out to the favorite one all time.
I don't know. It's really fun to travel with this team.
I think the UP is fun because the freshmen go over the bridge for the first time. So that's always like really cute. And like we take their photo. So that's always fun just to be up there. And in the fall too, it's really pretty.
Yeah, I think that's Tatum's favorite, right? You said that was your favorite? As far as not the actual time that it takes to get there, but the colors.
I'm just a big group person, and if I'm like with everyone for an extended period of time, I'm happy. So like when we're just all together and we're forced to be all together on the bus, I feel like we just get really silly. And the UP is probably like the longest driving trip we have. So yeah, and the UP's pretty bonus points, but I
More
just like
time,
being
more
the
time
best.
for shenanigans is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly that.
Okay, right on. Favorite game that you've played in
Ever?
or coached in?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
Yeah, super hard.
Super hard.
I want to say maybe the GLIAC championship. Was that our sophomore year where we won it at home? I think it was our sophomore year. We played GV in the final.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
That one was
5 sets,
really exciting
yes.
because I think our team just like faced a lot of adversity during that game. We had like an injury, and then we had some. It just really showed like the depth of our team too, because we had some players come off the bench that just really rose to the occasion, and that just like really exemplifies like our team in a nutshell. Was that game?
Yeah, I think that showed us like what the importance of having bench depth was too, because I think that's become more of like a recent goal for us. I think that game really was like, okay, bench depth is important. Let's make that a priority. Yeah, that was a good one.
Absolutely. Coach, I'm sure there's probably many to choose from. Is there one that sticks out immediately?
Oh, I mean, so many, really. I think for this group, though, a couple years ago, we were 0-6. And when we won that first game, I thought that was a really big, it was just a big level of understanding of who we are a little bit more. Because we were 0-6, but, we'd played a really tough schedule, and, we could have been better, but we just really weren't able to finish a lot. And I think our identity changed a lot when we won that next game. Like, we started to understand more who we are and who we could be. And I think that was really fun just to see that shift in the team. And then I don't think we lost again, right? For like a long time.
Yeah, I think
no.
we did well after that.
That was a good season. We had a lot of adversity, and I think like we never forgot that we were 0-6. Like we would win some games, have some really big wins, and we were like, man, we were 0-6. Like it grounded us, but I think that's what made us so successful that year.
It's so grateful, right?
Yeah.
Like you understand that you can work really hard and not get the victory, and it doesn't diminish the work that you're doing at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good year.
Absolutely. And you guys especially, it is very noticeable when you're a part of the team, right? You're a part of the family, right? That includes the alumni, that includes the parents, that includes a lot of the fans as well. When it comes to playing for a program that really treats the program as an entire family, how much does that mean to you?
It means everything to me, because I know they'll remember their wins and their losses, and in 10 years, in 30 years, they're going to remember the cool times that they had together. And they're going to, my goal is that in 30 years, they're, when something goes wrong in their life and they need somebody, that one of the first people they reach out to is, the people that they played with. Because you go through so much together and you grow so much together, and the depth of that relationship is, that's the most important thing that we do.
Absolutely.
I agree. I think like all the supporters also, like we couldn't do it without them, and like our parents are there at like every single game, and that's important to us. And I also think it's special to be a part of a group of people that has like the same goals and the same like drive. Like it's just a really special like team to be a part of.
Absolutely.
So.
Everybody's all in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's all in from day one for sure.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. Thank you both for joining us here on the show. We appreciate it. We'll leave you with one last question we ask everybody on the show. What's been your favorite thing about being here at Ferris State and being a Bulldog?
Tough one, I know.
It's a tough one.
Toughest one.
I think just like the people that I've met here, like I feel like I've really like grown up in college, and I've learned like so many life lessons, and I've just truly met like my best friends in college, and I'm so grateful to be here.
I love Ferris. I think it's a great school. Like they do so much to help people grow and go out in the world and make a difference. And then I love when my alumni come back. Mm-hmm. It makes my heart
We'll
sing.
be back.
We'll be there.
Not yet.
Leah's never left. Leah just never leaves.
Yes. Yeah. Bulldog. What is it? Bulldog for life. They say that a couple times around here. So,
Yeah.
Well, thank you both, Tia, Leah. Thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate you having me on the show.
See you guys later at practice.
Thank you.
Big thanks to head coach Tia Brandel-Wilhelm and Libero Leah Bylut for joining us. Great interview, and it's great for me personally. I wanted just to add this. We didn't have a chance to do in the interview, but Coach Brandel-Wilhelm, I know she kind of made the joke earlier when I mentioned how long she's been in coaching. She actually recruited my sister to play here at Ferris State, and my sister was able to play under her, and she enjoyed all of her time. And so it's really cool to see and now hear the perspective, almost the secondhand perspective from the stories I've heard from her and heard from Coach. And they just do a great job with you guys and the program. It really is a family at the end of the day that is extremely successful, and that's a really, really nice combination.
Yeah, you could really tell just how close everyone in the program is, even just by like watching those two interact over there. You can just tell how much like we love each other, we love the game, and we're just excited to be doing all these cool things with each other.
Absolutely. We'll give you the Ferris State Sports Slate before you go, and let's be frank, it's kind of a long one, so we'll keep it quick for you here. Thursday, volleyball at home against Davenport. Be there, be square.
Yes.
Against the Panthers. That game is at 6 o'clock opening serve. And then you guys are on the road. Turn around right back. You go over to the Lakeshore down by the Bean in Chicago to face Roosevelt. So have fun at that new facility. Haven't seen it yet, so hopefully it's really nice for you. Hopefully you guys get a win. Women's soccer, speaking of Davenport, will be at Caledonia to play the Panthers. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff there if you're around. Hockey will be home this weekend against the Big Old Beavers of Bemidji State. That is at 7:07. First puck drop on Friday. They will play again on Saturday at 6:07 p.m. right over here across the hall in Engelgleben. And then we got the big one. I'm talking about cross country, right? In the morning at Khaki Golf Course, men's and women's cross country GLIAC championships. That is going to be a great event. I believe the opening start times are at 11 and 11:40. Do not quote me, but you can check FerrisStateBulldogs.com for all the information. And sandwiched right in the home events, really one of the main events that apparently a lot of people are going to. It's Grand Valley State, Ferris State at Lubbers in Grand Rapids, I should say, in Allendale. And it's going to be a fun football game. When this is a heated rivalry for how many years it's been, and then you just add in, each and every year, top 5 teams in the nation, every single year, it only makes the fun more fun. And it's hard to make more fun than fun and being more fun. It's just so much fun.
This is just a fun weekend. Lots of fun going on. Go have fun. Be a great athletic supporter. Mark the calendars. Get your friends, drive to Allendale, go support cross country, support volleyball, support hockey too. They need some love.
Yes.
It'll just be a fun weekend.
Absolutely. And we'll actually have Anchorbone Part 2 on Sunday here for women's soccer hosting Grand Valley. That's going to be a 1 o'clock kickoff over there at the soccer complex. And then we'll also have men's golf. We'll be going to the Bill Crabtree Invitational, I believe, to wrap up their season. So congrats to Coach Stark, especially on a good women's season in the fall. The men's will finish up here this week on Monday and Tuesday. And then also for those many interested, and this one kind of snuck on us, right? The exhibition, our Ferris State men's basketball team is going to play in East Lansing at Breslin against Tom Izzo and the Spartans. How fun is that? That's going to be fun. So that game will be at 7 o'clock there in East Lansing. Go support the Bulldogs. Make sure you get your studies done first before you go down there.
Or don't.
You know what? Do whatever. Just go down there and just support the dogs. So it should be really fun. A lot of fun things on the weekend, and we just love the word fun because it is fun.
It is so much fun. Go support. Basketball is back, so go support them as well.
Absolutely. It's only going to make our jobs in operations and communications only crazier, which we love. We love
to talk about.
We want more home things. Yes, it's hard to work, but we do want more home things. And it's really fun to have all the fans around. So I think that's going to include our episode here. Want another good one?
Yes, fingers crossed. We have a lot of wins to talk about next episode.
We hope so. Cross your fingers and get out and support the Bulldogs this weekend, especially over the next 2 weeks. We got a lot of home events coming right at you. This has been another edition of Behind the Bulldogs. Big thanks to you guys. Big thanks to Dazos Digital. And we'll see you next Thursday right here on Behind the Bulldogs. And we'll see you later, everybody.